Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday edition of WDWL TV. And today we're calling this Senior Citizen Trivia Special, mainly because it's a program that was quite popular when we were young.
Access granted.
So, without further delay,
viewer discretion is advised.
Of course, I love it. Here we go again. Big fail on the sound effects. Whenever I need my sound effects, they go out. So, let's try it again. Let's get started.
Somebody call security.
No. You know what? Isn't Sunday supposed to be your day off, idiot? All right. Today's Senior Citizen TV Trivia Bonanza. Now, Bonanza was the second longest running Western with 14 seasons, only to be surpassed by another one of our shows at the time, Gunsmoke. Interesting. All right. Let's move right along here. Of all the family shows at that time, and if you remember, 40s, 50s, into the 60s, there were a lot of family shows. Lauren Green was rated the #2 father of all time. Unfortunately, they didn't mention the #1. So I'm going to have to look that one up. This show broke the mold because of all the family shows in the 40s and 50s, the father was always portrayed as somewhat dim-witted, and the mother was the one that took control of the household. Lauren Green broke the mold as being admired and respected as a dad. Found that quite interesting. It was also the first 1-hour running series. Now, this I found quite interesting, and if you watch the reruns, you will also have a moment. The cast never changed clothes. From the first show to the end show, they always wore the same thing, which basically allowed them to use a lot of stock footage to save money. Michael Landon's real name was Eugene Maurice Horowitz. when he went in to sign up with the Screen Actors Guild, he was originally Alf Landon. And at the last minute, for some reason, he changed his first name to Michael and became Michael Landon.
Crikey.
Besides being actors, the whole cast were professional singers.
Awesome.
And Lauren Green had a huge hit, Ringo, which was not only #1 in the United States, it was also #1 in Canada because Lauren Green was Canadian. After only 6 years on the show, Pernell Roberts, who played Adam, left. He hated the show. But he also went on to guest star in over 60 TV series. Pernell Roberts' reason for leaving Bonanza was that he felt that there was a lack of intelligent script writing. He thought everything was all kind of hokey. The TV show inspired the Ponderosa Steakhouse restaurant chain.
Bingo.
Very interesting. Here's a note that really surprised me. Victor Sen Young, who played Hop Sing, in real life was a highly accomplished professional chef. He starred in many cooking shows and wrote a best-selling cookbook called The Great Wok Cookbook. The producer of the show wrote it as an Old West version of King Arthur. Very interesting. Here's another note that really surprised me. Even though Dan Blocker, who played Hoss, was kind of portrayed as kind of dim-witted, he held a master's degree in education and was in teaching before being convinced to play Hoss in the series, because he also was a member of the Screen Actors Guild because he had done some commercials. He also had a real first name, Eric. How Hoss came about, they never said. After the first season, the show was almost canceled. What saved the show was it was the first television show broadcast in living color, and they switched it to Sunday evening. Now, Even though they never changed clothing, which saved on wardrobe, and they were allowed to use a lot of stock footage to fill in to make that hour, at that time, it was one of the most expensive series to produce, costing $150,000 an episode. I lost my place there. Sorry. Okay. Last but not least, if you remember, there was a Cartwright curse because every woman that Ben Cartwright ever fell in love with died or left town. Now, a little side note. One of the main reasons that this show ran for as long as it did was NBC's parent company, RCA, wanted it to run so they could sell color televisions. And real interesting item, for the show's complete 431 episodes, Chevrolet, if you remember, Chevrolet was the only sponsor. The stars made Chevy commercials, and believe it or not, it put Chevy sales over the top because the show would run on Sunday, and it was like car, you know, whatever won on Sunday sold on Monday. Well, on Monday, it was always the biggest sales day for Chevrolet, even more than NASCAR. Because that was the big thing at the time. Whatever won on Sunday sold on Monday.
That's it. I'm through.
Thought that was interesting trivia for all of us. Now, you know, on one of the minor cable channels, Bonanza still is running. So, if you don't remember some of these trivia tips, kind of watch some of the shows, and you'll discover, like I did, that because I went in and watched some of them just to see, and sure enough, he didn't change clothes. Very, very strange. But at that, like I say, they saved a shitload of money because they were able to throw in a ton of stock footage, and they didn't need the actors in the studio. If they needed a scene of out in the Ponderosa, they just looked up some stock footage, threw it in. They needed a scene in the house of just people walking around. They went to the stock footage, threw it in. Was an item that was picked up by all the studios after that. A lot of stock footage. So just thought that was pretty interesting today for mainly us seniors. From the golden microphone of WDWL TV, take care. Got an interesting one for tomorrow, too.
Access denied.
Okay, they're throwing me off the air. Everybody have a wonderful Sunday, and talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.